I've put this off for what feels like too long at this point, and it's one of them. But I'm focus of this channel back to Garden Warfare 2. Now, don't get me wrong, I do love BFN. I still think it has potential. You know, apparently there's been some leaks and data mines and all that from this newest update. I haven't looked at them purely because I'm trying to be... I'm trying to get it so I can have some sort of thing to look forward to. And it's now got to the point of I'm actually having to consider moving the focus of the channel back to Garden Warfare. Doing it on PS4, it will be over on Xbox, because I'm seriously considering doing Road to Max Rank again. I know I said I was going to do it with BFN, but I seriously don't think I can manage that. Now, don't get me wrong, going through Garden Warfare 2 originally, I thought it was a grind, but because I've played BFN for months now. I've been playing it pretty much ever since it came out, and I've basically always been hopeful for it. However, these past few weeks, I've been starting to lose hope, and I don't want to say starting to lose hope. The updates and the news of, you know, some leaks being there has put some sort of hope back in there. I don't have the... I don't want to, like, say energy, because it's not that. It's just I don't find the fun in this game that I found in Garden Warfare 2. Great time to fly a helicopter past my house, isn't it? Yep. Do you want to hover around any longer? No, you want to get closer to my house, thanks. But yeah, it's got to the point now where, because I was speaking to Lewis last night, or a couple of nights ago I think it was, and we were both saying that, you know, BFN, I mean, yeah, it feels like it's a proper game, but it doesn't feel... It feels like... I'm going to take an example that I've heard before, because Garden Warfare 1 was very good, and then 2 took 1 and improved on it, but BFN just feels like it's thrown everything that was right out of the window. And I'm not saying that because I don't like BFN. I'm saying that because that's genuinely how I feel about it. They had so many things done right in Garden Warfare 2, and it kind of just feels like now all that has gone to waste, if that's what you want to say. And I was saying to Lewis last night as well that, you know, it's one of them of, I don't usually admit that, you know, I'm that bored of a game, but BFN's kind of got to the point now where it's like, I'm pretty much having to force myself to stream it. You know, I'm literally having to say to myself, you know, gotta stream it, you know, there's stuff to do on it, gotta stream it, and I don't want to do that. And I've genuinely been gravitating more toward Garden Warfare 2 a lot more recently, and it's kind of got to the point now where it's like I'm enjoying Garden Warfare 2 a lot more than I am BFN at the minute. And would I say that, you know, it's because Garden Warfare 2's, you know, where I've put most, you know, a lot of time into in the past, like, few years? No, I just say that I find Garden Warfare 2 a lot more, well, you know, a fair bit more fun than I do BFN. And don't get me wrong, like, you can clearly see that, you know, the developers of this game are trying. You know, it's not hidden that they're trying. It's pretty obvious. But, you know, there's a point where you've kind of just got to say that enough is enough. And I think I've finally hit that point. And it's not something, you know, that I've wanted to admit for a while. But it kind of comes now as a thing of, it was a ticking time bomb. There was only so long till I was going to be, you know, going to admit it. And it's got to the point now where most streams on this game, I am also listening to music. Because it's got to the point now where, you know, most streams on this game are the same. And it's the same old stuff, just different day. And I guess you could say that with any Garden Warfare. But that's the fun with Garden Warfare 1 and 2. The variants make it so much fun to play, because there's so many different ways you could take it with each variant. And I'm not saying, you know, I was against, you know, them getting rid of variants when, you know, it first came out that variants weren't going to be in this game. If anything, I was all up for it. I was supporting it, and I was interested to see where it would go. And now that I've seen it, I really hope in the next PvZ shooter variants are back. Because I don't think PvZ is going to survive another game. Well, not like even like as a whole. I don't think PvZ will survive without another game with variants in it. And it's one of them where it's like, the mobile games that have been released recently, it definitely makes you or makes me wonder personally, the PopCap know what they were doing with BFN, or do they just not really care? Because, you know, we had the BFN release, and then a few months later we had the PvZ 3 mobile release, and then we have news of another PvZ game on mobile coming out. And granted, there is already, like, what, 3 mobile games fully released, so everyone can play them without having to do some sort of weird thing, or second account or whatever. You know, so, like, if you live in England, like I do, if you live in England, you don't have to have, like, an Irish account or something, just to play, like, PvZ 3, you know, on mobile. You know, so really there's only like, yeah, fine, you could say PvZ Heroes flopped, but it didn't. It like, PvZ Heroes had a lot of support from the community, but EA just, well, you know, the support for that game died out out of nowhere. There was nothing saying, you know, they're ending support for the game or anything. It kind of just ended. And don't get me wrong, like, PvZ Heroes is still fun to play. And, you know, I do still go back to it every now and again and play a few games. But it's got to the point now where sometimes I even find more fun literally playing PvZ Heroes, a free-to-play mobile game, over, like, what, 20, 30 quid console game. And it's now at the point of, like, It feels like some people only play this game because of EA access. And don't get me wrong, I know there are people that do genuinely love this game. I do love this game. But it's got to the point now where it's like, the issues stick out more than anything else in this game. And it's got to the point where it feels like the issues just cannot be outweighed. And it's now at the point of like, how much further can PvZ go without, you know, some sort of major thing happen? Because, you know, I'll say it again, I was all up for when they originally said variants weren't going to be in this game. But now that, you know, we've had, what, almost 9 months of this game being out, yeah, this PvZ's not surviving. Well, you know, the PvZ shooters won't survive much longer without some sort of major thing. Because I think, if anything, this game has killed the PvZ shooters for, like, a lot of people. It's got to the point where I've even considered quitting them. And I just said, no, I've been saying to myself, what else would I play? There's genuinely nothing else that I'd be happy playing. You know, I'm not, you know, because it's one of them as well, where it's like, I'm not going to let one game that I can pick out issues from ruin a whole kind of set of games. You know, I'm not going to let BFN ruin my love for Garden Warfare 1 or 2. And don't get me wrong, I do genuinely have a love for Garden Warfare 1 and 2. I pretty much, you know, I put a lot of time into them. And it's not even a thing of, you know, I just don't like BFN, because I'll say it again, I do. It's just got to the point now of I can't manage to stream it as often as I wanted to. You know, at one point I was streaming it like almost every day, and I was happy to stream it every day originally. However, now it's not at the point where I can stream it every day. And I feel like that's just purely because some of the issues stand out more than some of the strengths in this game. And sometimes it's even hard to pick out strength for this game. And I'm not saying, you know, this game doesn't do anything well. It does. If anything, it does, you know, it does Giddy Park amazingly. You know, I was so happy to see that, you know, well, you know, when I originally saw the fact that, you know, they were keeping the whole backyard battleground idea, I was over the moon to see that. I couldn't have been happier when I saw the fact that, you know, the whole backyard battleground type of stuff was staying. Because if anything, that was one thing I always wanted to stay from Garden Warfare 2. Oh, you know, that was always the one thing that I wanted to stay that was new to Garden Warfare 2, was Backyard Battleground. Purely because of how much I loved its idea and how well it worked. Because I think everyone who's played Garden Warfare 1 or Garden Warfare 2 can admit the Backyard Battleground is, you know, one of that game's most amazing points. And it got to the point where I was like, this game, you know, seeing them in this game take the Backyard Battleground and basically expand upon it massively was up there. You know, it was, you know, I was so happy to know that, you know, they're keeping the whole Backyard Battleground type of stuff. But then it got to the point as well where it was like, this game as well has so many little individual issues that arise with each update that it's just hard to keep track of them all. It's like, fine, when this game released, you had the whole XP glitch in Wading Woods, and I know, you know, it was one of them where it was like, yeah, it was only for zombies, so plants didn't really have one. Yeah, about that one, let's just say they nerfed bounties. Purely because, you know, people were sat. Well, I think people found like 2 bounties that were easy, and you could just keep the bounty pushed back from reaching its point or reaching what it had to do and kill it. And it got to the point where they nerfed bounties to give you, I think, like 100 XP a turn or a time or something. Which, I mean, yeah, fine, combats that issue, but then you don't really have any other solid way of gaining experience. Because I think we can all admit that online, I don't want to say it's plagued, it doesn't feel as good as Garden Warfare 1 or 2. And I think that is purely because they haven't got the sprinting down right. You know, I think we can all admit it at this point that the sprinting is probably, it's not even a thing, it's probably, it is the thing that's plaguing this game the most. It's easy, you know, it's easy to point fingers and say, well, actually no, I think you'll find that, oh, this is plaguing the game the most, that's plaguing the game the most. End of the day, it can always be boiled back down to sprinting. And don't get me wrong, if sprinting wasn't in this game, it would be a chore to play, purely because of the size of the maps and how long it can still take for you to sprint some places in some of the maps. But I think what else doesn't help is the variation. Sorry, no, the lack of variation that this game, you know, pretty blatantly has. Because I think everyone that, you know, has played this game can admit, to some degree, there is a lack of variation. And I think everyone can kind of say now that it's got down to the factor of, it's rare that you can be in a long-range battle and not be against a sprinter. And I don't even want to say it like, you know, it's just a thing that's there and it's a pain, because it is definitely a thing that's there and it is definitely a pain. And I was watching a video that Wolfie Plays put up on his channel, like, I'm pretty sure, like, soon after this game came out, and it was just like honest opinions on some of the characters, and or BFN if the characters were honest, and you can still see that you know, some of the stuff is so true to this day, you know, because they tried killing off the ability spam meta, and Snapdragon's in the game, let's put it like that. Now I'm not gonna be the one to say, oh, Snapdragon is just an ability spammer. He's not. You can do more than just spam abilities with Snapdragon. But it definitely feels like most, or some fights that you're in against a Snapdragon are definitely ability spamming ones. Or ones like this where you just get corner campers. Yeah, kind of has got to the point now where it's like there's only so much more that it feels like BFN can take. And this is what I mean. Yep. I'll slide. You know, it's got to the point now where it's like there is only so much more this game can take before it dies out. I'm not staying on a lobby. And that's the other thing as well. It's like this game is basically bum central or bumming central. You can't get into a, you know, it. I don't want to say it's rare you can get into a one-in-one or one-on-one, because it's not. If you play Deadbeard, then you get into one-in-one or one-on-ones quite often, because you get, you know, cacti and all that trying to murder you. But then again, it's one of them where it's like, that's a long-range battle. Deadbeard, like, especially the way I play Deadbeard, it's one of them, it's like, I try and stay as far back as I can, purely because I know if I go up front, like, A, I'm not good Deadbeard up front anyway, but it's also kind of at the point where it's like, oh, Deadbeard's obviously kind of, well, you know, obviously built for long range, and like, you know, it's easy to point fingers, but in the end of the day, I think you can just say and see the BFN's dried out now. I mean, it's got to the point now, yes, they're giving it you know, they're giving it, like, support and all that with, you know, the prize map and stuff. Oh, how can you not shoot through there? Yeah, it definitely feels like it's got to the point now where it's like, yeah. Because I mean, you know, it's got to the point where it's just like, you know, jump on, same stuff. And I guess you could kind of say that it's always been that way for leveling up characters. But that was the fun of doing it in Garden Warfare 2. I wondered what that was. Yeah, the fun of doing it in Garden Warfare 2 was there was so many different characters, and if you were just trying to level up a whole class, then you could, and you were getting bored of one character, you could change characters and it, like, you know, almost change the way that you had to think a scenario out. This game, you change characters, you've kind of got to rethink the whole way you play to a degree of, you know, you can't play, say, someone like Nightcap the way you'll play someone like Cactus. It's just not going to work out. You just cannot parkour as Cactus. You know, you can't play Deadbeard the same way you can play Super Brains. Well, even if you took the abilities away, there would still be characters that would excel in areas that others will completely fail in. And that's the other thing. It's felt like it. I don't say it feels like they can't get some characters right, but it's definitely felt like for a while that they don't know what they're doing with some characters. in the form of Soldier. Yes, I'm using him as an example. What is that nightcap doing? Soldier came out, he was hitting 3s. Then they buffed him to, I think, like 6s and 7s. And recently they've taken him, you know, in this update, they've taken him back down to a 6. And it's like, they can't afford. Korn, that's another good example. He came out, he was hitting like 3s. Nope. Not Shogun God. You know, Korn came out, he was hitting like 3s. And it was one of them where it was like, Korn, you know, the biggest issue with Korn in Garden Warfare 2 wasn't the primary. Oh, look at that. I absolutely hate this new AI filler. See these level 1s? Yep, that's Space Cadet. That's Sunflower, that Cactus, that Sunflower, and that Pea Shooter. And that Nightcap, because someone on their team just left. They're all AI fillers. I mean, somehow the AI filler on Sunflower has actually got 2 kills. But that's the other thing, it's just like, it's got to the point now where it's like, you know, you can see the developers are clearly trying with this game. And it's just one of them where it's like, yes, they've got, I think the Trello board's still live. Well, I believe it is. They haven't said anything about it being taken down. But it's got to the point now where it's like, either the characters need sorting out, or a pretty hefty update with variants has to come out. And I'm not saying it has to, in a way of, you know, trying to make myself sound ungrateful for this game. Because that's not how I want to be taken out, you know, that's not how I want to be taken across as being. As such. Drop it. Oh yay, corner camping Korn. Nope. Oh, head glitching Korn, sorry. Imagine missing the anchor. But it has got to the point now where it's like, this game feels like it either needs a hefty update to introduce some character variants, or it's really gonna have a hard time surviving, as well as Garden Warfare 1 and 2 have. Because Garden Warfare 1 has still got a strong community to this day. Like, it's pretty easy to find a game now in the day. And it's got to the point now where it's like, Garden Warfare 1 feels like it has a lot more, you know, I don't want to say it feels like it's got more support, and it's got more support, because it doesn't have any support anymore. You know, the servers are still up. You know, it definitely feels like there's an element to it that he's never trying it from back there. It's got to the point now where it's like, it almost feels as if Garden Warfare 1 plays better than Battle for Neighborville. And there's, like, what, 5 years difference between them? And for saying that, it's kind of eye-opening to the issues of this game. And it's got to the point now where it's like, because I was saying to Lewis as well last night, it's like, I'm not going to give up on the PvZ shooters just because of BFN. You know, that's something that I'm not doing, and I just want to make that point clear here now. I'm not going to give up on the PvZ shooters just because of BFN. If anything, it just means I'll do more Garden Warfare 2. And yeah, that means it'll be over on Twitch. And yeah, that means Road to Max Rank probably returning. Oh yay, funny. I know that cactus has gone somewhere. Nah, nice try. Absolute sucker. This is the other thing I don't like about BFN. You kill one guy, yeah, and there's a chance that, you know, you're gonna get watched. It's simple, that's how I'll act. Because that's the other thing as well, it's like, that's been a glaring issue for a while. And why I just have pretty much stopped playing this game in my own time. Is just because, you know, I'm sick and tired of this happening. I want a break from it. I want to be able to enjoy a game. I don't want to... Because it's not even like it happens for the whole game sometimes. It'll genuinely be at times it'll happen like end of the game. Or halfway through a game, and it'll be like, fine, I'll just watch them back then. But it has now got to the point where it's like, he's already back. So now that it's blatant, I'm going to have to watch out for a cactus as well as myself and my own health bar. This is going to get interesting. I don't know why I'm watching there. I know exactly where it'll come from. It'll either come from around there, or it'll sit up there. Let me just clarify, he is still in the game. Yeah. This kid's got 1 kill and he's gone after me, what, 3 times? Oh, that'd be him. Where was that drone? Some people are sad in this game. I'm half expecting a message now saying, like, camper or something. It's like, I'm really... I'm half expecting a message now. That took forever. Not happening. Not on preserve passes. Do not tell me. Thank God for that. Is he going to salt switch just to try and kill me? Nope. Thank you. I don't know why I'm keeping an eye on. Actually, no, I'm gonna hide in the back here in case I happen to get someone on me. That's my other thing as well. It's like Garden Warfare 1 or 2 rarely happens I'll get someone on me. This game, you can pretty much guarantee it's gonna happen at some point. Also, just saying it now, ever since I've taken to a new way of playing Rose, or not the Rose, the Parrot, or using the Parrot, I found it a lot easier to control. Because what I do now is apparently pull out my mic. But what I do now is I kind of use my middle fingers on L and R2. So I kind of aim and shoot my middle fingers whilst using up and down with pointers. So I kind of move my trigger fingers up to the bumpers and then my middle fingers around to my triggers and play that way. I mean, there's an easy way to reload. But yeah, it's just like, you know, and then I've got my thumbs on the sticks. I was still getting him. Nah, I was gonna change to wizard, but I'm not gonna do work on this map with Deadbeard. It's funny as well because Call of Duty World War II went on PlayStation Plus the other day, and I've just been sat playing that with a few of my mates. When did it go on? Was it 2 days ago? Poo. I'm a full back. Oh, you had max health. That scared the living daylights out of me. And I still don't know why. Yeah, it's kind of the point now where it's like, you know, because don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna quit the PvZ shooters. So original. Oh look, now that I've gone in parodies, pussy don't. That's another thing as well, it's like, if you're in parrot, yeah, you can almost guarantee that it's that way to flush me out. Ah, failed. This is what gets old very quickly. Oh, they've not killed the turret, the parrot then. Mate, 61 damage didn't register. Trench now. Okay, apparently the drone now has more than 18 health. No idea on what planet, but apparently it does. Wrong button, muppet. And again, the wrong button was pressed. Why does it do this? I know, I'm gonna go a completely different way because I'm different. No, it just makes you stupid. that can deal with them. So what, Wizard gets pulled out of co-starring Goop now? Is that how it works? Because that's the other thing as well, it's like, they either make not enough changes to make a significant, or, you know, they don't, I don't want to say they don't make enough changes to this game, because then I guess that means I kind of be held accountable if they happen to make a massive list of changes in one update. But it kind of feels like they either make too little change, you know, not enough changes, or too many. And I think that's definitely something that can be seen throughout this game. At this point is the amount of changes they make and how either significant they are or insignificant they feel. No. Gee, what am I poisoned from? Eh? What did I just get poisoned from? I just got poisoned, but I don't know what from. Weird. Co-star. I got booted out of it for some odd reason. Again, what did I get toxic? Where am I getting toxic from? Where did I get toxic from? Where? Like, where am I getting it from? I've got it twice now. Am I getting it from the goop? Or some plants worm? Not really. Yeah, guys, I think I'm leaving this stream here. I think I'm leaving the stream here, guys. I know it's been on the shorter side of them, but I think everything that I've said about BFN today adds up to as why it's a shorter one. So yeah, we maybe we'll probably be back on this game on Monday. Let me check dates. Yeah, Monday. So yeah, possibly Tuesday. But yeah, anyway guys, I'm going to stream here. Hope you enjoy. I'll see you guys later. Peace. Still doing the whole hand thing.